Hey guys, it's me, Jenna, again. I'll be honest with you today. I really wasn't planning on doing a video before I went to work today, but I actually checked out a movie last night on Shudder, um, which is the equivalent of like Netflix, except it's all horror movies. Um, and I kind of had to talk about this movie just because I kind of stumbled on it last night, like I said. After I watched The Lost Boys last night, I was like, I kind of want to watch another movie. And since I've already watched so many of like my favorite classic horror movies, I'm like, you know what? I haven't really checked out like anything new so far this month. And I'm like, you know what? It's October. I always try to make it a point to check out like at least a couple of like movies I've never seen before during October, just to make it a little more special. And I'm very glad I came across this last night. The movie that I ended up watching after Lost Boys was WNUF Halloween Special. And I'll be honest, like when I was kind of like reading the description and everything, I was like, okay, this sounds like it's probably like really low budget, really had no expectations for it. But I was quite surprised by it, actually. So basically, premise is like I said, it's very low budget, and here's why. So basically, it's like a broadcasting of obviously it's fake though, by the way, but it's like the style of like public broadcasting, very low budget. In the movie, this is what I really like about the movie is that it really kind of stays true to like public broadcasting type of feel to it, like very low budget, kind of grainy. Like it starts off with like sort of like a little like local public broadcasting newscast. Very cheesy acting, like the two anchors are so cheesy, and it's like I feel like in any other movie I'd be like tearing that apart, like, dude, the acting sucked and it was so bad. But in this movie it worked. Because like I said, like, anyone who's kind of like come across public access knows just how poor the production is. It's very low quality, and I feel like anyone who's ever on there, it's always, like their personality is always kind of like over the top cheesy, but it works for this movie. And this actually was set, I should warn you, it was set like late 80s, early 90s, so it has that sort of feel, very true to that feel, including like the commercials that they have. Like this, when you watch this, it truly feels like you're watching a public access program, which kind of cracks me up. I mean, there's a couple of points, because they really like show like, actually show like the commercials as well, so it definitely feels like you're watching a public access broadcast. So it starts up with like, the little like news anchors and everything, and they're promoting like what's coming on after the show, which is this like this other like news anchor or broadcaster that's on this station. He's going to be investigating this like haunted house where like 20 years ago, all these, not like all these, but like this kid like murdered his parents and stuff. So it's like 20 years later, and they're gonna go in because it's like, oh, it's a haunted house. We're gonna see if it's really a haunted house, because this house has been abandoned. No one's ever lived in here ever since. And just very, like, it was kind of good. It was, like I said, it was very cheesy. The acting was cheesy, but it worked for this type of movie. And like, there were times where I was like, once again, I was like, wait, I'm watching a movie. I'm not really watching a public access show. Because I'll be honest, there was the one point where I was like, oh, I gotta pee, but I gotta wait for a commercial. And I'm like, wait, dude, you're watching a movie. You could put it on pause. Like, I really got into it. Although I have to say though, just a little warning, because I don't really want to give like too many spoilers away on this, because I have a feeling probably a lot of you have not seen this. So I don't want to say too much, but I will give you a warning just because I'm a huge dog lover. I'm an animal lover in general, huge dog lover. Not so much with cats, but I will warn you, if you are a cat lover, there is a cat in this, and it does have kind of like an untimely death. And even for me, I was kind of like, not the poor cat! So, just giving you a little heads up, that was my one little thing, because I was like, oh my god, no, not that poor cat! But, other than that, if you can kind of make it through that part, it's a pretty solid movie. And like going back to like the commercials and stuff, because like I know I keep saying like, oh my god, it feels like an actual like, you know, public access production. Like some of the actually almost all the commercials in this, like especially if you're someone like me who really kind of grew up around that time, like late 80s, early 90s, like, you know, like some of the like horrible like infomercials and like actual commercials, like low budget local commercials were so bad. Like some of the ones that I'm thinking of, like out here in Chicagoland, like that freaking eagle one where like the big ass eagle like drops down on that car or whatever, and like the two girls are like, it's Eagle Man! And the Eagle Man's like, do I have a deal for you? Like, a lot of those sort of, type of commercials, and I feel like, I think they say where, like, this is located at, like, where, like, what state. I think it's, like, sort of, like, New England area, I believe, but a lot of these commercials, I feel like anyone can kind of, like, see these and be like, oh my god, like, these are so similar to, like, what I saw in my local, public broadcasting station back when I was a kid, and just could kind of remind you of, like, certain little, like, infomercials or, like, small budget local commercials. So, it's a fun movie. I mean, it's definitely not scary, but it's a fun movie. And actually this, I don't know if this was inspired by this episode or not, but I kind of kept thinking about the Tales from the Crypt episode. I think from season 2, the one with Morton Downey Jr., Television Terror. Like, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, just because, like, in that episode, it's similar, except that was more of, like, a bigger, like, production. Like, it was supposed to be a legit TV station, like NBC or something. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit, because, like, you know, they start off, like, the newscaster starts off outside waiting for, like, the news to end, and, you know, he's introducing, like, oh, here's the, like, psychic, here's the, you know, priest, blah, 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 and then they go in, they're investigating the house. So it kind of did remind me of that episode, and that's one of my favorite episodes, but I definitely don't feel like they were totally ripping it off at all. So, but yeah, this movie was just fun. Like I said, it's not, like, the greatest. It's very low budget. It stays true to that, like, public broadcasting type production, which, oh, and like I said, there was a few times where it's like I kept forgetting, like, I'm actually watching a movie, not an actual, like, public broadcasting you know, show. So it was a fun movie. Check it out. Like I said, I stumbled upon it on Shudder. For those of you who may or may not have heard of Shudder, like I said, it's like Netflix. It's a streaming service, strictly horror. And honestly, I have to say, because for the longest time I was more of like a Screambox girl, because they were really kind of like, you know, putting some good stuff up. But Shudder's kind of like stepping up their game with stuff. Like, they just uploaded all 4 seasons of Tales from the Dark Side, which check out, that's a good show. And it's $4.99 a month. Like, I know with tax, because whenever, like, I get the payment receipt for it, it's like, I think with tax, like $5.30, so $5.30, that's like 2 cups of coffee from Starbucks, you know. So like I said, check it out, or at least do like the 7-day trial, which I feel like 7-day trial is not long enough, just saying. But, you know, yeah, check it out. You know, like I said, it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it, and I mean, obviously I'm doing a video on it because that's how excited I was about it. So check it out. Check it out, you guys. Like I said, it is called WNUF Halloween Special, and it was released back in, I believe, 2012? 2012, yes. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what you guys think of it. I think you guys might enjoy it. It's a fun little one. So check it out. But until next time, you guys stay safe out there and stay creepy.